Hi guys, GeekTrue64 here, and today we're going to be talking about the only thing that anyone is talking about today. The Avengers 4 trailer dropped today. This morning on the way to work, I saw that it dropped. I was so excited. There's been lots of talk about it coming out this week. Man, let's go ahead and jump right into this. I hope you guys are ready for the truth.
Geek.
True. 64.
Geek. Truth.
Geek.
True. 64. Oh, shit.
For those unfamiliar with my channel, I did post a couple of videos on Captain Marvel killing hype. One of them did, I think just cleared like 600 views today, which is a huge hit for me. My channel is not very big, and I'm so happy that anybody wanted to listen to me drone on about movies. But yeah, man, I'm really hyped about that. But I'm not so hyped about Marvel, or at least I wasn't until this trailer dropped. And luckily, this trailer does not have Captain Marvel in sight. This trailer is exactly what a trailer should be. And I'm going to break down why that is. But first, let's take a look at the trailer itself. So one of the lines spoken by Tony Stark here is, "Part of the journey is the end." And man, like, right in the kisser, right off the bat, you've got Tony Stark alone in a ship, wandering out in the middle of nowhere, adrift, about to die, and basically recording his final message. And it sets the tone. It sets the tone. That's all I'm going to say about this. It's great. And basically, what this trailer does is just create this very ominous, grieving feeling, which is exactly what it should be doing following those events of Infinity War, in which, you know, half of the population was just erased. Like Black Widow says in the trailer, Thanos did exactly what he set out to do. And man, yeah, this like I said, this is the tone that I want this movie, at least the beginning part of this movie, to be. Like, they're recovering. They've lost. The heroes have lost, and this is them trying to recover from that loss. And that's something we haven't really seen in any of the Marvel movies. At least, you know, to the degree that it has been with Infinity War. On a side note, I'm not really a big fan of Black Widow's blonde hair. Can we go back to the redhead? Maybe it's just because of my beard. I don't know. In the comics, there was a blonde-haired Black Widow and a red-haired Black Widow. They were two completely different characters. So, yeah, I don't know. Can we please go back to the red hair? When Tony Stark like taps on the helmet, I'm sorry, this is exactly what I thought about.
Think with flies.
So at this part in the trailer, you see Bruce Banner kind of staring at some monitors, and you see a couple of people pop up. I see Tom Holland in the background and Paul Rudd. I think the whole point of this is that Paul Rudd is assumed that he was among those who died during the snapping. Does anybody call it the snapping? That's a great name. I'm going to call it the snapping from now on. Take it away, Mark Wahlberg.
What? No.
And then we got Captain America talking, and for those who don't know, Captain America is probably my favorite Marvel character. I love Steve Rogers. He's great, as you can tell by my Alex Ross poster up there. I have tons of Alex Ross art all over the place. Captain America, man, top notch. One of the things I noticed here with Captain America's talking about how they all lost and everybody lost, he's shaved. That was that was like one of the things I noticed. He shaved. So obviously in Infinity War he had a beard. I can tell you, once I got out of the military, yeah, I stopped shaving. And I love this little scene right here where Captain America still has Peggy's picture in his compass here. Again, this comes back to how great Marvel maintains its own continuity. So there's a lot of rumors with Ronin, maybe Clint Barton taking on the title of Ronin instead of Hawkeye. And in this trailer, that was a big reveal. That is Ronin right there. He's a badass ninja. And I think how that happened in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, was there was a point where Clint Barton, Hawkeye, was actually killed during the Avengers Disassembled storyline. And he was brought back. I don't remember exactly how he's brought back, but he was. And instead of taking on the title of Hawkeye, he took on the title of Ronin. I'm betting his family has been erased. His family's been erased, and he's taken on the title of Ronin, and he's going around, and clearly he's taking out the trash. So there's this important line right here, which is Black Widow says it's going to work, Steve, and Steve Rogers replies with "It has to because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't." And man, like I said, this trailer has such a great tone to it. It's very small scale. There's not, hey, there's a bunch of explosions and here's a bunch of stuff that's happening. No, it's showing you that these guys are beaten down, and it's looks to be a more personal story, at least setting up going into the third act, I'm sure. But this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted out of this Avengers movie, and I'm glad we're going to focus in on a smaller cast. Obviously, most of the people who survived the snapping was the main Avengers, and you got Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Those are the main Avengers from the first Avengers movie, and all of them are still around. And I think that was a great choice. The last one was definitely an all-out blowout fight, and this one is going to hopefully be a little bit more character focused. Obviously, it's going to have the spectacle to it, I'm sure, in the third act or second and third act or whatnot. But I know the first act is going to have a lot of character moments. So to me, there's three things in trailers that you're going to need that make it an actual good trailer. Number one is you got to get hyped. It's got to get you hyped to see the movie. That's the number one thing for any trailer. But number two, which is something that a lot of trailers have been failing at, is don't give away story points. There's been so many trailers that have given away important plot points, shown stuff from like the third act, like all the way up to the end of the movie. Important reveals are showed that they show in the trailers, and that's really a dumb thing. And then the third thing you really need is you want the trailer to convey the tone and feel of what the movie's gonna be, so that way when you go see the movie, it accurately reflects that trailer. And because the trailer is basically a promise to the audience that this is what kind of movie you're going to go see. So if you go and see a movie, even if it's good, if you're shown something in the trailer that's completely contrary to the feel you get out of the movie, even if the movie's good, it still feels like false advertising and people have a bad taste in their mouth, because of it. So you definitely want your trailer to match the tone of your movie. So Ant-Man shows up at the end, and you had to have this. Most of the trailer is very somber, serious, and I wouldn't be Marvel without a little, light comedic moments. This isn't really a comedic moment, but it's just Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd, which is funny in and of itself. Like if he's on the screen, it's kind of funny. Yeah, him just trying to get in the door. Like I said earlier in this video, I really think that Ant-Man is considered among the fallen. So him showing up is obviously really surprising for Black Widow and Captain America, and probably for everyone else. Now, for those who have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, you don't necessarily need to see Ant-Man and the Wasp in order to, going into Endgame. However, the post-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp is pretty essential to, I think, what they're going to lead into with Avengers Endgame. So I do recommend checking Ant-Man and the Wasp out. Or as I said, out of the three things, the main thing you want is to not reveal any story points and stuff like that. The only thing that's really revealed was Ronan, which is fine. I think that gets people hyped. That's a little bit of getting people hyped beyond just the good trailer and the title, Endgame, because I think that nobody knew what it was called until the trailer dropped today, at least to my knowledge. So Avengers Endgame, obviously it matches what Doctor Strange said, right before he basically lost, and he said, hey, that we're in the Endgame now. So I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on what I think will probably happen in Avengers 4. I think there's going to be some time travel. I think that a big chunk of the movie might be actual time travel. I don't think a lot of it's going to take place, where it is. To me, that's why I'm thinking that most of what we saw in this trailer is in the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, and some kind of time travel happens. Now, how that happens, again, there's parts of Ant-Man and the Wasp that are kind of important as to maybe how that could happen. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys to check out Ant-Man and the Wasp if you have not. Now, With Captain Marvel, this is where I'm really iffy on, because I obviously am not hyped for Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel will be the first flop for Marvel Studios. And it may not be the first flop as far as monetarily, but I think it'll be the first flop, as far as received by the fans. I think right now that's probably Thor Dark World, the most forgettable Marvel movie. But this might actually top it, and that's really messed up. The trailers for Captain Marvel are terrible. They're terrible. They don't get you hyped. It's the same thing I said on my reviews. Identity politics have worked their way into certain things in Hollywood, and Captain Marvel is no exception, and it puts those identity politics on display. And you can tell that in the trailer and the marketing so far. Now, the movie might be decent. I'm thinking Captain Marvel's probably going to be like Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, and that's not a good thing. I think it'll be kind of terrible. It has definitely made me less hyped for Avengers 4 because I know she's going to play a role in it. They'll probably have her come in at the end and save the day and kill Thanos in one punch or something stupid like that because, whatever. And I think that's just going to ruin the whole movie. I'm glad we didn't see Captain Marvel in this trailer, and I really hope her inclusion in Avengers 4 is kept to a minimum, or at least she's utilized in some other kind of way. I'm not a Brie Larson fan. Just all around, Captain Marvel to me is poison for Marvel. And I really hate it because I'm a huge Marvel fan and I've loved pretty much all of their movies that they've put out. Kevin Feige is just amazing. He has led this franchise to just juggernaut status. I mean, it tramples over Star Wars. And who would have thought that 10 years ago? You'd say Marvel movies are trouncing Star Wars movies. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, I'm super hyped for Avengers 4. I love this trailer. What did you guys think about it? Comment below and let me know. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geek264, and I'll always tell you the truth.